I'm Reginald Ryder, and today I will be talking to you about educational reform. The education system in the United States is outdated, teachers are underpaid, and the education that is being given isn't the highest of quality education that we could be receiving. The education system does need a reform. Teachers aren't making the money they should be making, while they are also educating the minds of the future that are going to lead this country and this world. The way the pupils are educated is now outdated and is no longer the way these students should be evaluated on their skills, and the curriculum itself also presents not enough life skills that are now essential in today's society. How many students are going to absolutely need to know the certain types of rocks, or better yet, know how to graph a line in everyday life? Now, I understand that would also apply to certain jobs, but it normally doesn't apply to normal day, everyday life. Point being, the education system needs to change to better suit the needs that we have for today. The education that is being taught is, however, a little bit outdated. Students are evaluated on how well they do, not on progress, which you can see that can be seen as a problem if you have a student that's at a lower level but he improves a lot more than a guy who starts at a high level and doesn't improve. He's going to still get a lower grade just because he didn't do as well. Even though he worked hard and he improved, he still doesn't. That doesn't show. Students all learn differently and at different speeds, and that is according to Oliver Seacat. He actually said that in the TEDx talk that I attached. And then students are all graded based on the same amount of time and in lessons. So what he was saying here is the lessons that are being taught, you get, an hour in science, hour in math, hour in history. Well, some students may need 3 hours in math, but only 30 minutes in history because they can grasp certain concepts better than others. Tests are geared towards units. It's not really pushing you to remember, it's not pushing you to learn the subjects, it's pushing you to remember. You study this material for a week, we have a test on it Friday, we study a new material Monday. That's how most classes, at least for me in high school, were. These quizzes and tests are based on small units, just recently learned, like I said, and students only need to remember that material for a small amount of time. Not useless information, but not the most useful information is being taught. So not enough life skills are being taught. Like there's not a lot of classes on childcare, cooking, taxes, how to file a job application, how to file for unemployment, how to do your taxes, all important things in today's society, yet we aren't taught those in high school where it's preparing us for adulthood. And with math, we also, the big argument, we have calculators to help us with larger math problems, and there's articles out there that rank calculator apps. One article by Jason Cross ranked calculator apps on the App Store for iPhone that were free, based on a certain level that they could give you. You could download a TI-85 calculator on your iPhone for the right price. And this is also going to lead into why teachers are underpaid. Teachers are underpaid. They incorporate different learning plans to affect as many students for each class. Well, the good ones do. The good ones do that. Teachers want to help us learn, so they're going to make the most effective lesson plan to affect as many students as possible. And they put a lot of work into it. Different class, different way of teaching. Some students in one class may not grasp the concept as well as the next class, and that comes again from Oliver Seacat from that TEDx talk. He talks about his experience as a math teacher, how he would have to change lesson plans. There's time and effort put into these plans, and then they have to walk over them with 20 plus students every other hour, and usually it's a different lesson plan. So that's more time and effort put into a separate lesson plan, even though it's really getting across the same point. Also, working even past hours and on weekends. Teachers have to grade our homework too. We get the homework, they get 30 pages of homework to go home and grade with. And that's for 10 classes. So teachers aren't just working during their normal hours. It's not a normal 9-to-5 job. They're working from early in the morning when they get to school until late at night when they get home. And even then, they might still work grading papers or setting up a lesson plan or reading papers. It's a lot of work, and they don't make enough money for it. And again, they're also educating the future of our world. Teachers today are educating the minds of the future. Teachers have the hardest job of all. Oliver Seacat, TEDx Talk, he talked about that, and the public agrees, according to a study by Michael B. Henderson. He actually did a study, and he polled a certain amount of people in a certain area. It did not disclose that information. But the people he did poll, it was, I believe, majority. It wasn't a big majority, but it was a majority believed that teachers should be earning more money for the job they put forward. And although education does need change, there are problems that come with it, which is why it hasn't happened. The biggest stopper for it is it's going to cost money. And money doesn't come from trees. It needs to come from somewhere to pay the teachers more and to create an entire new curriculum and to set up classrooms and give us the technology that we might need to succeed and learn these new things, and to incorporate the new classes to help us transition to everyday life after high school. Not enough money is being put into education in order for this to happen, obviously, or else it would have most likely already happened by now. At least one would hope so. But the big thing is, the education system isn't getting enough money from the federal government in order to make this transition, and the system right now is not broken. The system right now is working, it's just not the most effective way. It's graduating students, it's getting us through college, it's getting us into everyday life. It's working, but it's not working at the best it could possibly be, which is why there's these other solutions that are put in place that I have mentioned previously. And they need to change the way standardized testing is, because people just don't test good. There's got to be another way of evaluating them. Public education is in need of change, and the status quo is no longer suitable for the education system. Teachers need to behave more, and the curriculum needs to more reflect what is needed to be known in order to survive on today's society. Thank you. Have a nice day.